Welcome to Mrs. Pete's Thrifty Living. I'm so happy you're here today. Today is another story time, Dad's Family, 18 Children. And I thought I would pull this up and show you. I'm on the playlist of on my YouTube channel. And you see these are playlists. I have story time. I have tutorials for crafts. My summer vacation legacy journal. I haven't put much in there yet. All of my shorts. That's a lot of them there. Country gospel piano. That's all of the music. Mine, my brother's. All things food, cooking and everything. A glimpse of my life. That's an ongoing series that I have. And all grocery thrifts and so forth. And what I wanted to show you today is I'm going to be doing another story time, Dad's Family, and let me show you. Okay, now I went to where all of these story times are. Right here you can see, if I slide this down, you can see the different ones that I've had. 6 of them. This last one at the bottom was the last one. And I am on number 12. And so without further ado, I'm going to go right over and show you. And you can see that you can go back and watch any and all of these. And I would sure appreciate it if you do. Like and subscribe, and God bless you. Welcome to Mrs. Pete's Thrifty Living. I'm so happy you're here today. Today is another episode of my grandpa's life, Dad's Family, 18 Children, and I'll put the episode number in here because I don't have it written right here. On the countdown to each child born to my grandma and grandpa. They had 18 children, and we are going to be talking about my Uncle Albert. I don't know whether I'll have enough time for 2 or not, but we'll go from there. Albert Fulton, they always called him Doc, was born in May 1923. He married in January of 1946 to his first wife, Marie. Then his second wife, he married Marie, another Marie, in 1953. And that one, they were married for many, many years. I'm sure it might say here. Albert was named after Doc Fulton. Thus, that's how he got his nickname, Doc. When Albert was born at home, Doc Fulton was there to help with his birth. He remembers being disciplined by his father with loud words. I think I heard that somewhere else. Albert feels it was great coming from a large family. Everyone pitched in with chores. Some of the chores were to help feed and water the hogs. He had to milk a certain number of cows, also helped to carry water in from the spring. Remember, probably most of the time they didn't have running water in their homes. He remembers Grandpa Mac as being a quiet person who sometimes let his whiskers grow out. But he was most of the time clean-shaven. He also remembers hearing Grandpa Mac used to live in Arkansas. He remembers Austin, that's one of the older brothers, giving the teachers a hard time at school. If you go back and watch some of the other videos, you'll see. One time, one of the teachers was going to give Austin a whack with a stick. Austin took the stick away from the teacher. Oh boy. The children never talked back to their mom or dad. At Christmas, all the children received one special toy, and on the 4th of July, they would go for a fish fry. Albert's favorite foods was pie, cakes, and beans. When Albert was a boy, one time he went riding through the woods on a horse. He saw a calf standing there in the woods and decided he would try and rope this calf. He remembers his mom being short and heavy-set, and as being a very lovable person. Also, she told you, if she told you to do something, you were expected to do it. Now, not. Albert remembers a story concerning Uncle Richard. When Richard had taken his wife to the hospital to have a baby, he was out in the waiting room for a nurse to come and tell him whether his wife had a boy or a girl. Well, the nurse came out and told him that she had given birth to one child, but another one was on the way. They didn't know she was going to have twins. A short time later, the nurse came back and said, "You have two." There was a lady sitting in the waiting room that asked, "How did you do it?" Mr. Richard told this lady, "Well, I could show you better than I could tell you." She replied, "I bet you could." Albert remembers a time when Austin was accused of doing something he was not guilty of because Albert had done it. Albert had taken a big black snake and put it inside the teacher's desk drawer. When the teacher pulled open the drawer, out came the snake. Then another time, Albert took a snake and placed it on the keyboard of the piano. I think we heard this story that he got blamed for a lot of this, and shut the top down. People had come to the school for another Sunday singing in the evening. When the piano player went to open the piano lid and saw the snake there, there was quite a commotion going on. Albert was 12 or 13 at that time. One day at school, they had been told to go outside under a shade tree and have their lunch. There was a field behind the school, and the children looked over and saw Mr. Choti's hog running loose. This hog had a long tail. Austin, I guess his nickname was Hoss, was a small boy at this time, but he reached in his pocket and pulled a pocket knife out and climbed over the fence, chased this hog, and cut his tail off. Wow. After this incident, the teacher asked Austin to stay after school to get to the bottom of this incident. One of Charlie's brothers, Richard, was in school also at this time. So when the teacher went upstairs, and he found all the brothers and Richard waiting for him. The teacher told them, "I just wanted to tell Austin he shouldn't have done that. I have a heart problem, and this caused me quite a scare. I'm not going to punish him because there is so many of you." Albert remembers that Lowell and Lyle had their first child. It was real sick, and Lula was staying their home at night to help take care of the child. Albert was with his mother. The next morning, Lula sent Albert back home before daylight so that he could tell the rest of the family about the baby. Albert, being young, was afraid to walk with no light, so he picked up a handful of rocks to protect himself on the way home. They used to name their cows after the girls in the community, and they had a cow named Dolly. One day, a girl that they knew from school was in the house, and her name was Dolly. The cow had been named after her. How would you like to have a cow named after you? That evening, when it was time to milk, Wally came in and said, "Well, guess I have to go milk old Dolly." Dolly, the girl, was very upset. Thank you for watching. I hope you'll come back every time for this and other stories and whatever I have. And I pray God blesses you special today.